top wrist control. He's just going for straight. He's looking to set up a cross. He gets his cross. Then he goes for the trap. Boom. Now it's a 2-on-2, except it's his two hands against my one chin and my one hand, and he's going to finish this every time. A few months back, I went to a Craig Jones seminar in Austin, Texas. This was actually right before the pandemic. It's an interesting thing about seminars because you don't really learn that much. And I'm not saying it's the teacher's fault. I'm saying that it's very difficult to learn their cutting edge advanced techniques uh, for the first when you're getting it for the first time. That's obvious, but so oftentimes you don't feel that great after you go to a seminar because then you try to do the move when you get home. He taught I think a front headlock, sweep, and submission setup, and that he used to perfection in ADCC. But doing it as a more pedestrian grappler in your home gym against resistance is a little bit harder. But nonetheless, seminars are awesome to go to, and I think what you're really paying for is the chance to roll and spar with the professor that comes to do the seminar, and the good ones, the cool ones. When you're lucky, they will roll with you. Sometimes they don't roll, but that's pretty rare. So today, what I'm going to break down for you guys is my roll with Craig Jones at 10th Planet Austin. I almost faced him at EBI 14, I think it was, but I didn't get past I got knocked out in the quarterfinals against Gordon Ryan, of course. So Gordon Ryan ended up facing Craig Jones in the finals, I believe. But anyway, we finally have our long-awaited match here now, and this is an interesting one because I'll shrink myself a little bit here. This is an interesting one because I go through this sometimes as a coach running a class. I'll pause it right here for a second. You never know how hard to go when you're going with somebody who's like a superior. Like I've grappled at the professional level, but I haven't. It's been a couple years, and I had some level of success, but he's like a top 3 guy in the world, at least for his weight class. So I expect to do well because I'm confident, but at the end of the day, the reality is he's going out there and beating everybody in front of an audience on a consistent basis. So, as you can see, there's a little bit of an audience here, so I want to do well, but we're both kind of not going crazy hard in this match. So hopefully, what I can accomplish today is to point out some things that he did well, to point out some things that I did well, and to point out some things that we didn't do so well, mostly on my part. So without further ado, so he goes with a De La Hiva little wrap here. I'm just hand fighting, always trying to strip his ankles to the ground. What he's doing here is a really good stalling position from bottom. Like it's a good resting position because you can't see his hands, but he's basically created a bicep deep grip. Right here, I attempt a half-assed Berimbolo roll, really just trying to escape knee line. And I go to the same guard he was playing pretty much. Little mantis guard right here. Good stalling position, but he uses a nice stomp there to free himself. Let's look at that again. So he places his other foot right on my ankle, and he's able to strip his right foot out of this little bear trap I set up for him. You saw this used really well by one of Cade Rotullo, I think it was, or maybe his brother, to this leg pin to pass the guard to find freedom, so you can pass the guard. Little hand fighting, always checking the neck. All right, so what happens right there is a failed shin to shin into a reverse De La Hiva entry crab ride. All right, so I'm going to go back over that on what I did wrong and how that could have been, how I could have made it right. All right, so I do a pretty good job here of switching high and low. Grab the head. He postures a little bit, and then I go for the leg. Okay, so right here, I got stuck right at this point here. I'm going to start using a little marker here. Because I did not beat Craig Jones to this real estate on the mat here. I should have dove in my head farther so he wouldn't be able to distribute as much of his weight on this leg of his body here. And then with that, I would have been able to shoot my leg through the inside, but instead I end up on the outside, as you will see in a moment. So the ankle slips to the outside. Okay, so right here I have an option to go either dogfight with this quarter guard, or I can go with a De La Riva. This looks more like dogfight right now, but let's see how I turn it into a De La Riva. Okay, so the problem at this point in quarter guard was that he had a lot of weight on his knee and not so much on his foot. So I transferred weight back to his foot by grabbing his heel and ankle right here. Okay, that allows me to then lighten the load a little bit and then get underneath. Maintaining ankle control, just trying to control both legs here. He's going for a leg lock. All I'm paying attention to is my own knee line. So while I'm doing this attempted berimbolo head post here, I'm making sure this knee never crosses this line here. Okay, if it ever gets across that line, then I'm in danger of being leg locked. Okay, so my feet are hooking, my butterflies are hooking his legs, and I'm really like retracting, trying to stay on this side while I'm trying to dive my head underneath, that way or the other way to get to his back. Okay, I'm trying to spin underneath his hips and then climb up his back. Continuing on. It would have been weird to like go hard for a leg lock on him, to be honest. I mean, he's one of the best leg lockers in the world, but he's also like being a polite grappler, as you can see right here. And I want to kind of be polite also. This should have been an X guard sweep, but I stalled and waited. I go back to a reverse De La Riva. It's just a really good option when somebody's standing up. Save energy. Once again, he's looking for the opportunity to drop back on a heel hook. Okay, I'm aware of that, so I'm keeping this leg, my left leg, I'm keeping my knee retracted, going in that direction. Because I know he wants to fall back for a leg lock over here. Okay, he's already hooking my heel. I'm looking for my own leg entry opportunity, but we're both retracting very, very well. So this is where he starts to turn up the heat, and I'm going to break down a key battle here. He's right here, he's starting to attempt a body lock. I'm framing. I get to single leg X. All right, we're going to rewind real quick before we get into that battle. Okay, so what happens here is when he decides to like turn on his passing a little more, he's attempting a knee cut here. Because once again, I lost inside foot position, so he's attempting a knee cut through the middle. Okay, and the way I know that is because he drops his head level. He really starts to try to tripod his head on my chest or on the floor and anchor down so he can drive through. So now when I need to get his head level back up high so I'm just trying to, as you can see, I'm trying to get his head level back up so he can't pin me with his forehead on my chin. So once I successfully do that, see I use both my left forearm and my right forearm as a frame. Okay, so these are all frames, elbow inside position. You're always trying to get your elbows inside your opponent's biceps or your hands inside your opponent's biceps. You're just trying to occupy this inside position. I'm underneath his chin. All right, so you see all that there? I'm not worrying about the knee cut down here right now. I'm worrying about the upper body battle because that's what allows the knee cut. He gives up on that. I re-enter a reverse de la Hiva. He stuffs it. So then I go to a half butterfly option. Switching to single leg. So here's an interesting thing that happens right here. Okay, I got stuffed on the reverse de la Hiva, and I'm going to show a clip actually of somebody doing this much better than me. Okay, so right here he's stuffing he's stuffing. Okay, so right here he's stuffing my entry underneath to spiral underneath him by really hunkering down on this side and cross facing me here. Okay, so when he puts his weight on this side of his body and hunkers down, that opens up another opportunity. Okay, so I insert my left foot right there. You see that? So I went from outside left foot position to inside. Outside to inside. Okay, so now I can attack the other leg. I underhook his far leg that he was hunkering down on, and I have a almost single leg X entry. Now we'll watch the rest of what unfolds. Now I'm deciding which leg I'm going to attack, and I decide on which leg. Then here's an interesting exchange. I'm going to let the rest play out for a second. That was unfortunate for me. Very unfortunate. All right, let's see what just happened there. Okay, so he's seen a million. He practically invented, at least the modern Kani Basami entry, what I'm trying to do here, which is basically switching from attacking. I'm attempting to switch from attacking this leg to attacking this far leg here by shifting my hips back, and I'm trying to scissor this leg underneath. But he's done this a million times. He's seen it a million times, so he's baiting it a little bit. And he's looking to counter by rolling, keep letting his leg be in the trap of the leg lock here. And he's going to roll through and try to attempt a back take here. So he rolls through. I notice that he's trying to go underneath me, so I flatten out. I get really heavy. I give up on the leg lock. He recognizes that, so he reverses. And now he threatens the guard pass again. Okay, that's a little bit acrobatic of him, but very technical nonetheless. So in order to free himself, he frees his leg there. That's how he was able to do that. He got his Berimbolo hook out of there. See, his hook is in right now. It's in right here, and then he pushes free and releases it. Boom, release, switches sides. Okay, right here, I don't like this at all. I don't want him to pass my guard. So I start framing, I start pushing. Kind of not technical, but it is what it is. Okay, I have a lot of leverage there. Okay, and then because he was in twist or side turned away, I can attempt my own back take. Okay, but by getting up and attempting my own back take, he can spin around and take my back. So this is kind of a back chase. We're trying to chase. I'm trying to go around to his back this way, and he's going to try to turn the corner to my back this way. Okay, and you see this happen with arm drags a lot. Okay, it's a mutual back chase. Okay, so he recognizes that I'm climbing up and winning the race to his back. But he's very smart here. He baited me. Okay, because he's going to re-earn the pass. Check this out. Boom. There's a reason why that just happened. The reason is that, see, I go from pushing. Let me pause again. He goes into side control. I go from pushing, creating distance here. My arms are extending him away, okay, which is to some degree successful. But then I give up pushing and go to climbing. Okay, and by climbing, what I do is I keep him on top of me rather than getting him away from me. Okay, because I'm sacrificing some of my own base in order to take his back. So he recognizes that I gave up some distance. Okay, so as I get up, I don't have any base. I'm not pushing off of him with my arms. Okay, see how my arms are grabbing him? They're reaching around him. They're clinching rather than pushing away here. My feet are looking to climb close to him instead of going away. So I have no base. Okay, I should be working everything in this direction if I knew this setup was coming. Okay, and he's able to do what he does because he has this hand posted on the mat, so he has base. He has base right here and right here. Okay, so with that bait, he was able to drop back on top of me and pass my guard. Okay, and then I decided to turtle, which was sort of I probably shouldn't have. Should have just accepted the pass rather than not giving it my back, but I was super jealous of it. I'm always jealous of getting passed. That's what I'm trying to say. We're going to see a nice straitjacket set up by here. Set up by Craig Jones right here. He's got the body lock. I should have... It's good to fall to the lock side. I'll let you watch the whole sequence and then we'll break it down. Look at that arm trap. Full body triangle. Puts in the strangle arm. Hand fight. And that's a wrap. Okay, so we're going to go back to... So he takes my back right here. He gets both hooks in. Okay, he puts in a body lock. I go Dark Haven, and I keep him on the body lock side right here. So you generally want to escape body triangles on the side of the lock. Okay, there's some cheeseball ankle locks here, and you can get taps in training, but people won't tap to those in competition really, because it's more pain. I'm not sure if it results in a break. So, but nonetheless, my route to escape is on this bottom side here. So that was the good thing I did. The bad thing was that instead of trying to turn into him, I try to like kind of sit up and turn away. So I fight off this choke attempt here. I'm blocking. See, now I went in the wrong direction basically. I chose to get up and go away. What I should have done is slid my back to the mat and tried to keep hip escaping the other way. That would have given me at least a chance, but this way he could just chase my back and he's always going to win that race. He switches the body triangle to the other side. Now we're hand fighting. So let's talk about the hand fight now. He's always looking for top hand position. Okay, whether it's on the underside or the overside. He's baiting these chokes, he's spamming them to see if he can get underneath my chin, but ultimately the micro battle here is for wrist control. Okay, this is at the top of the pyramid of the no-gi skill stack. If you can attack from the back, that's at the top of the pyramid, you win everything. Okay, and the micro battle within back attacks is hand fighting. Look, top hand position, he's passing off. I'm going to watch this again. Let me go back to that hand fight. Okay, so what happens here is he has straight control. All right, so some straitjacket terminology. There's straight control, which is, in fact, there's direct. Well, I'll just stick with straight and cross. Straight control is when you have a wrist on the same side. Okay, and then cross wrist control would be his left hand gripping my right hand. Okay, so as we see here, he goes for a straight grip on the right side, right here. But ultimately, that straight grip is to set up a cross grip. So look, he passes it off, boom. Now he's a cross grip on the left, like magic. These things feel like a magic trick. They look like a magic trick. But you see, he's just gotten so many reps hand fighting. And I haven't done enough EBI overtime rounds, clearly. Because he beat me to the punch on this wrist fight. Okay, and then with with those cross grips, you can. He's just always seeing is Patrick's hand below his like basically his my chest level. If it is, then this leg, his right leg, will always be there, ready to swing around and trap this arm, which you see he does right here. Boom, trap. That's it. Okay, so now it's an unfair battle. That's the whole point of the straitjacket system from the back. You create unfair battles. And one thing that John Danaher, who kind of really codified the straitjacket system, because he first saw it by BJ Penn in the UFC. That's what inspired Danaher to come up with the system that now Gordon has become the best at. Gordon Ryan. He basically determined that when an opponent, when you have the back on offense, you're actually at an unfair advantage. So let me show you kind of right here. The offensive person is actually at a disadvantage as far as their ability to generate offense. The reason is that me, as the defensive person, I have 3 defensive instruments. I have this hand-to-hand fight, I have my other hand-to-hand fight, and I have my chin to block my neck. So that's 3 instruments. Whereas Craig Jones here, he only has 2. He only has his 2 hands. So it's almost imperative that he traps one of my arms with his legs if he wants to reliably and consistently get to a choke underneath my neck, because he needs to at least create a 2-on-2. So his 2-on-2 would be his 2 arms against my 1 chin and my 1 arm, which is what he sets up this whole time basically. I'll let you watch it one more time. Top wrist control. He's just going for straight. He's looking to set up a cross. He gets his cross. Then he goes for the trap. Boom. Now it's a 2-on-2, except it's his 2 hands against my 1 chin and my 1 hand, and he's gonna finish this every time if he's knows how to do a rear naked choke. Because boom, right there. So that was a really fun match. Definitely want to face him again and do a little bit better next time. Maybe I'll go a little bit harder on the legs. I don't know. Either way, as long as he's training and competing, he'll beat me. But I can catch him. I'll give myself the benefit of the doubt there. I wouldn't do. Maybe I could give myself 9 out of 10 matches. Why not? I'm almost his size too. Anyway, enough of my ego on this call. It's about learning. So I think the big takeaway there is when all skills are equal, the buck stops at the back. Okay, because there's a nogi skill stack, which you'll see from me later. That basically in jiu-jitsu you have to have a guard game. That's at the bottom of the pyramid. Okay, but then once you have a guard game, you know how to sweep and submit people. You have to be able to get to. As I'm talking here, I'm actually going to let this play again so you can watch. So we're having all these leg. Okay, so the key here is to understand that the buck stops with the back. Okay, there's a nogi skill stack. It's basically a pyramid, and the back attacks are at the top of the pyramid. Okay, because at the bottom of the pyramid is you got to have a bottom game. You got to be able to recover and retain guard. You got to be able to sweep and submit off your back. Okay, once you're able to do that, you got to have a top passing game. You got to be able to attack and smash and find submissions. Okay, and then you got to have a leg lock game too. That's the third layer. You got to have takedowns. Okay, but then at the top, what all those 4 things lead to, if they all fail, is back control. Meaning if you can't submit your opponent with any of those, you get to the back. And Craig Jones did that beautifully here. We're going to watch this one more time, and then we'll wrap it up. Beautiful straitjacket. Another interesting thing here. You can have, with a body triangle, you can have the top lock with inside foot position. You're safe here. You're not going to get ankle locked. You're only in danger if both your ankles are below the opponent's hip line, this line right here. So, and that's useful to know because a lot of times people will try to take you to the bottom side to set up that cheese ball ankle lock, and you can pretty much avoid that by having inside foot position. He gets his trap, and then he ratchets in that triangle. Boom, right there. Now he has outside foot position. And that is a wrap. So from here, what I want you guys to do is ultimately what failed me there was my bottom game. I could have done better. I could have gotten to more leg locks. I could have gotten to more sweeps. And so what I'm going to do, what I recommend you guys do, is go down below, check out my free bottom game starter kit course. It breaks down the 4 key pillars you need to have a successful guard game. It'll set you up from first day white belt all the way to black belt. It's just like the good habits you need. And it goes beyond just shrimp escaping. It goes beyond just do a bridge escape. It goes into more detail, what you do with every single one of your limbs. So very short, very simple, but very powerful. So look down below, click on that, and free. Once again, it's free. I should go review that right now myself because, like I said, my guard game failed. Ultimately led to the top of the pyramid, back attack, rear naked choke. I was done. We all got to keep learning.